any much part of the United States that we've already lost, that I have flagpoles in front of my house. I'm about ready to put the flag upside down. The only thing I have left is Texas is my line in the sand.
Well, the country's just completely gone. And you're right, and they're just going to keep raising property taxes until they come after us. They're creating paramilitary teams in every city to attack us. And in their briefing rooms, all they do is talk about the Patriots and how horrible we are because they're coming after us. And can you imagine how silly it is when the police and military try to march against the Patriots? What's going to happen?
It's going to be horrible, Alex. I grow my own food. I totally can sustain myself, but I can't sustain myself against the Cobra helicopter.
Well, you know, those Cobra helicopters land, but I don't think any of that's going to get to that point, hopefully. And the people that fly them, they go to restaurants, they live places, you know. What matters is the people giving the orders.
Damage from grabbing trigger.
That's right, he told me about it. I remember him telling me about that. In fact, I think the guitar even was partly burned. It's hilarious. Right. I tell you, that guitar is going to be worth a lot of money when he makes the jump into hyperspace. Blues legend B.B. King dies at age 89. Blues legend B.B. King, who took his music from rural juke joints to the mainstream and inspired a generation of guitarists from Eric Clapton to Stevie Ray Vaughan, has died in Las Vegas. He was 89. King, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 86, had said in May he was in hospice care at his summer being hospitalized in April with dehydration related to diabetes. The blues has lost its king, and America has lost a legend. President Barack Obama, always praying on every event, said in a statement recalling how he sang Sweet Home Chicago with King at a White House blues concert 3 years ago. BB may be gone, but the thrill will be with us forever. And there's going to be one killer blues session in heaven tonight. Yeah, like you believe in heaven, Obama. Give me a sick joke break. By the way, they found a bunch of videos on Knock and Talk where the police come to your house and we want to talk about your firearms. Mind if we come in? And the reason I raised that point is the military is now doing that. But everything's okay. Oh, we'd like to just take a look at your firearms. We're from the U.S. Army. You can trust us. How are all these traitors going to feel at CNN and MSNBC and Fox News and This Week as all this stuff unfolds in the years to come and you're sitting around telling everybody it isn't going to happen? You know most of the public doesn't believe you, doesn't buy what you say anymore. We got Jakari Jackson coming in with breaking Second Amendment news in a moment, but first, Wild in Wisconsin. You're on the air. Thanks for holding.
What's up, Doc? I had an original statement about how millennials are also a target along with veterans just because they outnumber baby boomers now, but I think everybody knows that. I wanted to ask you a question which I haven't heard asked before. What does Alex Jones dream about at night? You know, those like really strong, vivid dreams.
Well, I have a lot of nightmares. And I've had so many nightmares since I've been involved in all this that they're actually entertaining now. So it's really sick. When I was a kid, I'd have nightmares every once in a while, and I hated them. And now they're quite enjoyable because it's my subconscious brain working through fear it already has. And so going through all the things I go through in these dreams, I mean, you name it. And when I have nightmares, maybe it's like once a week, it's like all night long in sessions. Sometimes I'll wake up after one and move on to the next. I just see it as my brain wargaming, getting me ready for stuff to come down the road. Well, that's a great question. What kind of dreams do I have? Just the most wild, fantastical stuff, right down to dreams where I'm editing video, or dreams where I can't get anybody to take the garbage out at work, or dreams where I keep spilling coffee on the carpet. You know, just the stupidest frustration dreams. Dreams where my kids won't do what I tell them. That's a nightmare. I'll come back and finish up with that. That's a good question, Wild. And it's not set in Antarctica. It's just set like in neighborhoods, and then I've got my family, and people look like they're normal, but they're not, and the entire biosphere, the entire genetic code of the planet, the trees, the grass, the everything has been overtaken, and then my children get overtaken and absorbed right in front of me, and it's just intense grief and pain watching my family killed in front of me. And I have that dream in different variants all night long, about once a week. And what it is my brain getting me ready to just deal with losing everything so that I don't fear when I'm conscious and awake. But when I sleep, I do. That's the kind of stuff I dream about. Then I have political dreams where I'm just like at work reading news articles and having political understandings, and it's like I'm working while I'm asleep. I have those type of dreams. I have dreams where I'm video editing. I have dreams where I'm carrying the trash out. I have dreams where I'm fishing. I have dreams where I'm back with one of my grandfathers, camping. I basically have a wide spectrum of dreams. I have dreams sometimes where I'm like, it's in all this vivid color, and it's like you're on a space station, but it's nothing like you've ever seen or imagined. There's just all these beings of light and like space bridges and interdimensional gates. And of course, it's you could say it's human imagination, whatever. It's fantastical. Those are the type of dreams I have. But really, in dreams, we know, and you can read about this from Carl Jung, it's pretty accurate from my experiences, that it's archetypes. And that it's the subconscious mind learning to deal with things. And the GMO, the culture, even if you want to take care of your kids, you're almost betting when you have them on the future and putting them into a dangerous world. So I have intense guilt at a binary, base code level that I have 3 children that I put into this world knowing everything I know. But I intend to have more children if I can. Because I've got to go through the fear, and I've got to bet them and myself and everything on freedom and that we're going to make it out of this, even if we individually don't. I'm not going to just give up and say it's all over. It's not going to happen. You have to make the spiritual decision to go to that next level. But we do see our children taken away from us. But in life, it's generally your children are taken away from you by their husband or their wife and the other family, and then you still love them, but there is a little bit of frustration that they're not with you anymore, that they've got their own life, but then you see them have their own kids, and then it's a wonderful thing. That's if you really love your kids. So many mothers end up disliking, their son's wife. That's one of the most well-known things because they see their son being taken away by that woman at a very primitive level. And it's not all women that do that, but that's the most common type thing. But this isn't some other family taking away your child. This is your child having their mind taken, their soul taken, their health taken, their genetics destroyed. And so to have a child today, you are entering them into the singularity, the technotronic war, the AI war, all the craziness that we're already in that's just going to get more wild and more insane. So you can say it is an act of evil to have children, but I really don't think it is, because we have to do that, so we do everything we can to change what's happening in the future. I didn't really think all that out. That's what comes from my heart. Now, shifting gears, when we're going to go to Sha'Carri Jackson, B.B. King died today at 89. We just played one of his best-known songs earlier, and Jimmy Vaughn, who I know was really, really good friends with him, is here popping in on short notice. We appreciate him to give us his take on the passing of B.B. King, who I know influenced his brother, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and, of course, Jimmy Vaughn, who got his brother his first guitar and got him into it. And so Jimmy Vaughn joins us. Jimmy, I don't even know where you're at. Are you in Austin right now, or are you on the road?
Yeah, I'm at home. I'm in Austin.
Well, I didn't know BB died until I was looking here in the stack. Everybody else knew. And then I said, well, I got to call Jimmy, so thanks for coming on short notice.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, we heard that he passed away last night, and, of course, everybody announced it this morning. So he had been sick, and we noticed last week they were saying that he was under hospice care and things like that. So But it's really incredible. BB, was probably, I guess BB's the greatest blues guitar player that, ever lived. And, all the guitar players that you think of as blues guys from the 50s, I think they would agree with me, Buddy Guy and Otis Rush and Little Milton, and we could go on and on and on. Most all of them, including myself and Stevie, and many others, Mike Bloomfield, and we could have a list for 100 names. Pretty much, basically, learned how to play off B.B. King records, and of course his big influence was, according to him, was T-Bone Walker and Django Reinhardt during his time, but he took it to a whole new level, and he was a completely original guy, is what I'm trying to say, and he was a fabulous singer, too, and he made, he's made over 100 albums, and
who could you say is the real granddaddy of blues versus the granddaddy of rock and roll? The granddaddy of rock and roll would be Chuck Berry, right?
Yeah, I would say so, and Little Richard, and but I mean, all the rock and roll guys listen to B.B. King too. So,
now you were really good friends with him. I don't know if I can tell any of these personal stories, but I mean, you told me about B.B. King. I mean, you've told me quite a few interesting stories. I know you're well.
B.B. was just a really sweet guy and a loving guy. And one time I got to play on the Crossroads in Chicago, and I got to go on with BB. I was on Willie's bus with BB, and they were talking about Nightlife, which is a song that Willie wrote that BB made popular in the 60s, in the mid 60s, I guess. A lot of people recorded that song, but also did BB King, and the blues and a lot of that country music was really the same thing as far as I was concerned, and it crossed over on both sides, and it'd be tough to say enough about B.B. King. He was influenced everybody around the world on the guitar. Even if you don't play the blues, you had to be influenced by B.B. King. I mean,
didn't your daughters call him Uncle BB?
Yeah, we called him Uncle. Actually, my wife, that's how we met. I met my wife. We went on tour with B.B. King, my band. B.B. King would have like a traveling blues festival every year, and I went and did that tour a couple of times. But then one year, I filled in for the Neville Brothers for 3 or 4 shows, and that's where I met my wife, Robin, and she knew B.B. from working on the tour. And
that's right. She used to run the House of Blues too.
Well, she used to work. I worked there for that organization. Yeah, and she worked at Gibson and everything. And BB played Gibsons, and it goes on and on and on. And I learned how to play guitar from. I got in a band when I was about 15, and started making pretty good money for a 15-year-old. And I went down and bought every B.B. King album that I could get. I had like 20 of them, and brought them home, and would put the record on, and learn the intro and the solo and the ending of just let the LP play and just play along with it.
So is he your biggest influence, or is it Chuck Berry?
Well, all of them. All of them are. I'm influenced by all of them. I listen to all their stuff, and still do. But BB was, BB was the greatest. It's sort of the grandfather of the whole thing as far as bending the strings. They call it like singing string because it sounded like a woman singing sometimes, And that's where all the the Eric Clapton and Jeff Beck, all the English guys, Jimi Hendrix, all these people, learned really from from Buddy Guy. All of them learned from B.B. King records, really.
You know,